Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. It's me, Double, and this is Double D Guitar. I want to talk a little bit about intervals, and not the band intervals, as some of you may know, the actual relationship between notes. And I want to give you a little bluesy lick that you can use every note. We're going to go from B to B and all the notes in between, and we're actually going to kind of do it in a couple of different octaves here on the 7th fret. It's a fun little lick, and it's not only useful to kind of steal bits and pieces from, but it's also a great primer into getting all of the intervals under your fingers in your pentatonic box. So that's our minor pentatonic. And it's going to be here, the 7th fret, B minors. We're going to kind of concentrate. I learned this in C, and then I've transposed it to a bunch of different keys. I actually used bits and pieces of this lick for a solo on a Kelly Bell song, Headliner. Great song. I had a really good time being with Kelly Bell. I came from more of a rock background, so getting to really dive into the blues, especially with him, and he's this eclectic band that plays like rootsy blues, but also funk and rock elements. I mean, just a blast to be in that band. And I've always kind of played in muddy kind of bands where we pull from all sorts of different elements to kind of fuse things together. Kelly Bell, Jimmy's Chicken Shack. This lick would work over a lot of their stuff when you have that dominant sound. It's great for bars 1 through 4 in the blues progression. I liked learning this lick because it helped me kind of visualize the names of all of the intervals in a useful way, in something that was catchy, that kind of sat in my head, and also outlined all the intervals in this position. In a dominant major chord, we have the major 3rd interval, of course, so it's a major chord. And instead of having a major 7 or a note from the scale that is a half step away, just like you would find in the major scale, do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do, the T, do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do, the T is that major 7th. Well, if we make that major 7 go down or become the minor 7th, remember we can call 7, 6th intervals, 2nd and 3rd intervals, we can call them minor when we go down a half step. Not the 4ths and the 5ths, those get diminished or augmented. Just keep that in mind. We don't say minor 4th or minor 5th, but you can say minor 6th. And it means that instead of a major 6th, we're going to have a minor 6th. Same thing here, what we're looking at in relationship to our octave note, this B here that we find an octave up, 2 strings, 2 frets, and then 1 fret down, our major 7, we're going to have that. And you can find that in your chord by lifting your pinky, right? We can raise our pinky up, keep this index finger barred, raise that pinky up. Okay, now we're playing the beginning of the blues, you know? And just call it a dominant chord. If we zoom in a little bit more on the neck, what we're going to do is, if we think of our roots here, 7 on the E string, 9 on the D string, and then you have a root here on the B string, but we're gonna stay in this position for this lick. So our higher B is going to be here. You hear how the minor pentatonic works really well over that, even though this has a major 3rd in it. You can bend this minor 3rd of the pentatonic, and that's a bluesy move. That's one of the first bluesy moves you learn, right? Is how to kind of move out of the major and minor, and that's just by taking this minor 3rd and bending it some, and then coming back down to the root, right? And maybe not quite going up to the 3rd. Right? Playing with that microtonal area. Ask your pianist to do that, right? Ask your keyboard player to do that without grabbing his little wiggle stick there. So we can just kind of take advantage of that just by bending the string. And that gives us a nice little bit of phrasing. And you can also, you can shift between it. just doing that alone. You know, it's very defined that way. So like there would be the fourth, the minor third, and the major third. Okay, so that's a pretty typical lick. We start off this lick this way. So let's walk through that real quick. Being that our home on the E string is here, is this B, after we hear the chord, we can kind of count it. 1, 2, 3, and we're going to hit the and between the 3 and the 4, and then the and again between the 4 and the 1. So a lot of chromatic notes will work best in between your downbeats. So these are two upbeats. So 1, 2, 3, and. 1, 2, 3, and 2, and 3. So that would be kind of how we time that out. And 1, and 2, and 3 as far as timing. Just to get you kind of into that feel. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so the beginning of the lick is going to go 9th fret on the E string, which is our major second compared to the B. That's our C sharp, and then we're going to go to the 8th fret. It's a weird little interval on its own, but if you work your way around the chord and start to target some of the notes, 2, 3, and then we go to our 7th interval, our minor 7th interval, which is that A. We're going to find it here. So the lick goes 1, 2, 3. And that's going to be the and of the 1. 3, and. And then we kind of fluidly move from the and of the 1 to straight 8th notes on the 2 and 3. And then I use my middle finger to jump down to the G string and grab the perfect 4th. So we go major second, minor second, and then minor 7 to the perfect 5th, and then the minor 6, and then the major 6. And then jump down to the 4th. And then minor, major 3rd. So it's kind of like we're bouncing around, skipping stones, avoiding the cracks in the sidewalk. But we are still targeting these notes that hit our ear properly with the downstrokes. So we're going to end the lick on that minor 3rd to major 3rd. And that's enough to give your ear that we've gone to this root, okay? So 9th fret and 8th fret on the E string, 10th fret, 7th fret on the B string, and then 8, 9 on the B. Jump down to the 9th fret of the G string, and then hammer from the 7th fret of the G string up to the 8. And we're going to go from the 1 to the major 6. And that's going to be going down past the major 7, past the minor 7 to the major 6. Okay, our minor 6 would then be here. We're going to go here. So you can do it however, whatever feels comfortable. I like to a lot of times use my index finger for the stretch. So after we do this major 6, we go back to the root. And we're going to go from the minor third to the major third to the perfect fourth to the raised fourth or the augmented fourth, or you can think of it as the diminished fifth. So we're going up a half step from the fourth, or you can think of it as being down a half step from the fifth. So either way, it is that note between the fourth and the fifth, that one of the blue notes. So right through here, you get to play with all those blue notes and end on the fifth of the chord, which is very definitive, just as much as the third is. Maybe not quite as much because the minor third makes it completely different, but it is in essence a part of the chord, a very strong part of the chord. So here we have the fifth, up a string, up 2 frets, and here we have it from our octave again, from the 9th fret to the 7th fret, you see, and it's within our chord shape. When we play here, that's our perfect fifth. So the lick. Root, major 6, root. All the notes to the 5. All the notes to 5. So minor third, major third, perfect fourth, augmented fourth, fifth. Okay, change the bad cable out. So let's hear it again with the keyboard. So root, major third, perfect fifth. So here within that shape, that's what the keyboard is playing. And then we're going to do a quick hammer on. Everything we've been doing so far has been straight 8s, a lot of starting on the ups instead of the downbeat. And then we're going to go from the 7 to the 8th fret quickly. So after our interval to major 6 move, the big chromatic walk from the minor third to the major third, perfect fourth to the augmented fourth, up to the perfect fifth. Right? We're going to go quick hammer on from minor to major. So that's how you can kind of play with it as well. You can right there, but I like to get the lick, to really get the lick down and to get the timing down. And you see that gives us a pause in between here too. Kind of let us put a period on the end of that sentence. So after we do the hammer on, we're going to go back down to the root. And that alone is a great little lick. Okay, so there's the root. So minor, major, third, perfect, augmented fourths, fifth, okay? Do the quick hammer and hit the root again. Really settles that this is the key, you know, after all that chromaticism. And it really brings out that minor to major third. Okay, and then we're going to go down to the perfect fifth, grab it once, go to the dominant 7 or the minor 7, and then hit the perfect fifth again, the major 7, which really lends our ear to kind of want to go to that home bass. So again, the whole lick. One, two, three. So there we've run through all of the intervals. We hit the minor 6, the major 6, the minor 7 here, and we hit the major 7 right here. Hit the root, of course. We're going between the minor and major third a good couple of times. And you can call this note here, you can call that augmented fourth, also the diminished fifth, however you want to look at it. But when you look at your bar chord now, think around, they say think outside the box. Here's our box, so we can add these notes to kind of work our way down. And you don't even have to bring that out. That root is implied already within the chord. Your bass player's probably playing it, keyboardist is playing it somewhere maybe. So that's where we can kind of play with the listener's ear a little bit there and land on the dominant 7. And so you can then see that this move also happens down 2 strings, back 2 frets. And then would happen up 2 strings, but since we're passing the B string, we're going to have to add a fret. So instead of being up 2 strings, up 2 frets, we're going to go up 2 strings, up 2 frets, right? So 10, 11, 12, 10, 11 on the E, 12 on the B. Be here on the 15 to 16 fret and then down to the G string. So 15 to 16 on B and then down there, right? So use that lick, keep it in your head, just kind of get it under your fingers. And it's a great little thing to just kind of whip out. You don't even have to play that the 2 minors within the lick. You can come in like, like with like some sort of a statement from the beginning. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Start to get comfortable with what sounds right. That's why it sounds so great to bend, in that box shape. Because we're just playing with that relationship between the minor and the major third. And so getting that stuff into your ear and where you're going to be able to do that kind of move. And then you can start to use it in your chord shapes, like if we want to play a B minor chord, and it just sounds a little boring, we know we can play that minor 7, within and be safe within our key, and then we can kind of phrase it a little bit. You don't have to play the 5th right here. Heck, we don't even have to play the 5th at all. There's the 3rd still, right? And then look, back here, there's that 4th. That gives you a nice ethereal sound that you're not going to get here because you can't play the minor third and the perfect fourth at the same time on the same string. But if you go here, that E on the B string there at the 5th fret. So if you play, just kind of start to mess around with your chord voicings a little bit. So there's a C sharp minor. And you just start to kind of really feel where it feels right to move fluidly. And that lick alone was really an eye-opener for me. It just really helped me kind of visualize a lot of where the intervals fall around the box. And it helped me kind of think outside that box. So hopefully this lesson has helped you kind of do that. If so, go ahead and leave me a like. Thank you very much. And, just a quick side note, thank you everybody who's jumped on board. I don't really look at my subscription numbers very often, but a lot of you guys are hitting that subscribe button, and I really appreciate it. I was shocked when I looked at the app the other day, and the number thing it just did this scrolling numbers. You guys are watching my stuff, and I really appreciate it. So thank you all for being here. Let me know what you think of this lesson. If you want more lessons like this, or if you want me to concentrate more on gear, I can do both. I just haven't had a lot of time lately to do that. But it really helps if you guys let me know what you'd like me to do. I got a couple of more GX100 videos in the works. People are asking me some expression pedal questions and some assignment questions. And I've even thought about doing just a full-on Let's Make a Patch live stream for the GX100. I know that's awful niche, and there wouldn't be a lot of you tuning in, but I think the few of you tuning in would really benefit. So if that's something you want, please leave a comment and let me know that that is something you would really like. Even if I just get a couple comments that say that they would like that, I will do that in a live stream. Otherwise, I'm just going to go ahead and do a couple of more produced videos about it. That's what I used tonight to record this guitar, is the Boss GX100. I can touch a button and just shred it. Maybe not shredding, but mess around and have a different... The GX is awesome. I really love that thing. All right. Thank you, guys. Y'all take care.